Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you how you can avoid a typical error message that beginners often encounter in the Mplus software. My name is Geiser. On this channel I present weekly statistics tutorials often related to structural equation modeling and Mplus. If this is something that interests you, then please subscribe to this channel. Also don't forget to hit the like button in case you like this video. So I want to show you here an example of a very typical error message that beginners often find frustrating when they start working with the Mplus software and where they don't know how this can be resolved. So I want to show you here what you can do about this. So this is an example of a simple path analytic model that I want to run here with a dependent variable y, a mediator variable m, and an exogenous variable x, and I have everything specified here, including the model indirect effect or the model indirect command, so I can also print the indirect and total effects in Mplus. If this is something that you would like to know more about, then please check out my other video on path analysis and mediation in the description. Here I want to focus on an error message that could happen in any Mplus input file for any kind of model. So let's see what happens when I hit the run button. So this message here, this window occurs that says the input setup produced syntax warnings, errors causing Mplus to abort. Please refer to the output file for these warnings, errors, and fix the input setup accordingly. And so many people at this point are already stuck and they don't know what to do. So the first thing that you should do when you get a message like this is click OK and accept, so to say, that there was something wrong, and then check out what went wrong by looking at the output file. So I'm going to click OK. And then in the output file, you can find this error message here. Error in data command. The file specified for the file option cannot be found. Check that this file exists, mediation.txt. So obviously this error message refers to the specification of the data file here. And so it looks correct, right? So you just simply tell Mplus file equals or file is, and then the name of the data file and a semicolon. Or if your data file is located in a different folder than your input file, then you'd have to specify a path to your data file. So now what happened in this case? So there are different causes of this error message. One could be that this file simply isn't in this folder. So you might have a data file that's called mediation.txt, but it's not in the same folder as your input file, and so therefore Mplus cannot find it. In that situation, you have two options. The first is find this text file on your computer and then save it in the same folder, or copy and paste it to the same folder in which you have your input file. The other option is to specify the file path. So if it's in a different folder on your computer, then you can include the path after the equal sign here, so that Mplus will then be able to identify this file. Now, there's another issue though that could happen, and so let's take a look at the folder in which I actually have this input file to see if the data file is there or not. So I'm going to the Windows Explorer here, and so you can see that there actually is a text file here in this folder in which I also have my input file path analysis, INP, that is called mediation. So then why can Mplus not find this file since it is there? So the issue here is the file extension, and this is actually something that Windows or Microsoft with the Explorer doesn't make so easy for you by default, so to say, because by default in Windows the file extensions aren't really shown. So you can see there's not a .txt or whatever shown here, and so you can't really see directly what file extension you have. But you can make those visible very easily in Windows by clicking on View and then Show and then File Name Extensions. When you click on that, then the file extensions will be shown, and this shows us that the text file here that has our data for this example is actually not called mediation.txt, but instead it's called mediation.dat. Now, the extension as such doesn't matter for Mplus. Mplus doesn't care whether it's called .dat or .txt. However, the name has to be specified correctly in the input file, otherwise Mplus will not find the right file. So now that we know that this file is actually called mediation.dat, we can go back to our Mplus input file by closing the output window here, clicking on that smaller X to close the output, and that takes us right back to the input file. And so now you can change the extension here to .dat, and then Mplus should find this file because it is in the correct folder. So let's run this again. Save the changes, yes. And you can see this error message now disappears and the analysis ran properly. So those are the things that could lead to this message, that either the file isn't there, that it's in a different folder, that it has a different extension or a different name than what you specify. Also notice that it is case sensitive in this case. So the file name, if the file name, for example, starts with an uppercase M and you specify a lowercase m, for example, in the input file, then also Mplus will not find this file. So the file has to match absolutely 100% with what the name of the file is. Otherwise, Mplus will not be able to find it. I hope you found this video useful. Please check out the description for additional resources, other workshops and videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next week.